Okay, let's talk about AI, but forget all the hype for a minute. We're going to look at AI as something real, something tangible, a massive industrial revolution that's already happening. And we'll see it through the eyes of the person right at the heart of it all, NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang. Let's dive in. Right there, that's the quote. That's what Jensen Huang said at the World Economic Forum. He's not just talking about a new piece of tech. He's talking about the single biggest construction project humanity has ever decided to take on. Just let that idea sit with you for a second. I mean, it's a huge claim, right? So it begs the question, if this is some historic build-out, what exactly are we building? Where's all the steel and concrete going? What in the world does an AI factory even look like? To get our heads around that, we're going to break this whole thing down into its real-world parts, because this isn't just about code on a screen. It's about a physical, nuts and bolts transformation of our world. First, you gotta understand the scale. We are talking trillions of dollars, with a T. That's what Huang says this whole build-out is gonna cost. But here's the really wild part. We're only a few $100 billion in. We are right at the very beginning of this thing. So where is all that money going? Well, Jensen has this really great way of explaining it. He calls it a 5-layer cake. Each layer has to be built on the one below it. So let's build this cake together, from the very bottom all the way to the top. The foundation. You might think it's chips, silicon, right? Nope, it's energy, pure power. AI needs a ridiculous amount of electricity running 24/7 to generate intelligence on demand. Without a stable power grid, the whole cake just, falls apart. Okay, so on top of all that energy, you put the hardware, layer 2. And this is a global manufacturing boom happening as we speak. You've got new chip factories from TSMC, computer factories from Foxconn, massive memory plants from Micron, all being built like there's no tomorrow. Layer 3 is where you put all that hardware. These are the AI factories. We're talking about gigantic physical data centers being built all over the world to power, connect, and cool the millions of servers that are the backbone of this whole industry. And now, layer 4, we get to the part that most of us actually think of as AI, the big models, the generative brains. But here's the key takeaway. These incredible digital minds are basically useless without that massive physical body that we just built underneath them. And finally, the top layer, the frosting on the cake. Applications. This is where the real value gets created. This is AI transforming drug discovery, changing how finance works, powering the next generation of robots. This is the whole point of the entire stack. Okay, so we're building this giant 5-layer cake. But what about that big fear that's always in the room? The idea that AI is coming for all of our jobs. Well, what Huang says is actually the complete opposite. He thinks this is creating a massive job boom. I mean, just look at this list. This isn't just about software engineers in Silicon Valley. To build those physical layers of the cake, you need skilled trades. We're talking about plumbers, electricians, construction workers, and their salaries are apparently skyrocketing into 6 figures simply because there aren't enough of them to meet the demand. This right here is a really crucial idea, the difference between a task and a purpose. So take a radiologist. AI can automate the task of looking at a scan, but that just frees up the doctor to focus on their purpose, which is diagnosing the disease and talking to the patient. And get this, even after 10 years of AI in radiology, the number of radiologists has actually gone up. Or think about this example, nurses. They can spend almost half their day just on paperwork. If AI can automate that task, they can spend more time on their real purpose, taking care of patients. And what happens? Hospitals get more productive, they make more money, and then they can actually hire more nurses. It's about making humans better, not replacing them. Now, let's zoom out, because this isn't just a story about a few big tech companies. Jensen's vision for this is global. He argues this new industrial revolution can totally reshape the world economy and empower every single nation. He talks a lot about this idea of sovereign AI. Basically, he's saying every country needs to treat AI like essential national infrastructure, like electricity or roads. It's about owning your own data and building intelligence that reflects your own culture. It's about economic survival in this new era. And here's why this could be a really big deal for everyone. In the past, you needed to be a coding genius to use new tech. But with AI, you just talk to it. Huang believes this simple, natural interface could actually empower developing nations and people without computer science degrees, helping to close that tech gap we've seen for decades. And he gets specific. He points to places like Europe. Maybe the US led the cloud computing age, but Europe has this incredible industrial and manufacturing base. Huang says this is their moment to combine that strength with AI and lead the whole next wave of physical robotics. So you hear about trillions of dollars being spent, you see markets hitting all-time highs, and there's one question that everybody is thinking. Is this all just another tech bubble that's about to pop, or is this really the start of something totally new? Let's just tackle that question head on. The hype is obviously through the roof, but Jensen Huang points to some hard economic facts that suggest this time might actually be different from the bubbles we've seen before. His main argument is that this isn't just speculation. It's a reaction to a real physical shortage of computing power. You can see it in the rental prices for NVIDIA's chips. They just keep going up. And as he says, bubbles don't cause price increases, shortages do. The demand is coming from a whole new wave of companies being built from the ground up on AI. Now, Huang's vision of this industrial boom is really compelling, but it's not the only one out there. You've got Elon Musk, who sees a future of abundance by 2035, where work is basically optional. And then you have the historian Yuval Noah Harari, who warns that AI isn't really a tool anymore, but an autonomous force that's already reshaping our culture. So you've got these three pretty different visions of what's coming. But the one thing that isn't up for debate is that the physical foundation for one of them is being built right now, with trillions of dollars and millions of jobs. So the real question isn't if this is going to change your world. The question is, how are you going to be a part of it?